Alright, today's episode we're going to talk about the Franklin Half Dollar. And the Franklin Half Dollar was started in 1948, and it replaced the Walking Liberty Half Dollar, which ran a little over 25 years, ran about 30 years. Actually, just over 30 years. It would have ran 31, actually. It was decided that they just wanted to change the design because it had gone through what it wanted to. So John R. Sinnott, who designed the Roosevelt dime, was given the ordeal to come up with the Franklin Half Dollar design, which what they ended up doing is he took a design that was used on a 1926 Sasquatch Tennial of the American Independence commemorative half dollar that John Frederick Lewis used, which I can show you a sketch of it real quick. I have it in one of my books. Just give me a second to flip through the pages here. And I'll show you what it was. And what it was a commemorative half dollar commemorating 150 years of the independence of the United States. So what they did was he decided to use an image that was similar to that, which here is the image that they used for this one. We're talking about the reverse, which has the Liberty Bell, and then it has the dates for the Sasquatch Tennial, and that was the obverse. But what he decided to do was to take a similar Liberty Bell image, and he had to incorporate an eagle, so that's why there's a weird looking eagle on the back of it, and use Benjamin Franklin, who was a founding father, on the front of the coin. Alright, so now we're going to talk about the design of the Franklin Half Dollar. The obverse of the coin, I might use the circulated one because that one's got monster tone. It's hard to show on camera. But the front of the coin has Liberty at the top. It has Benjamin Franklin. And then it has In God We Trust on the bottom, and it has the date to the side. And the reverse of the coin has the Liberty Bell, E Pluribus Unum, to the left, United States of America at the top, half dollar at the bottom, and of course it has the eagle to the side. And that is the design of the Franklin Half Dollar. Alright, so the designer initials are on the reverse of the coin, down on the bottom of the bell, and it says JRS for John R. Sinnott. The reason why they added the R was because some people thought that the dime had Joseph Stalin's initials on it during the communist thing, so they didn't want it, so they put JRS on it instead. Alright, this coin was designed by John R. Sinnott. And just a little bit about him. I don't want to get too much into him, but he was the 8th chief engraver of the United States Mint, and he designed Roosevelt Diamond Franklin Half Dollar. And he was educated at the Philadelphia Museum School of Industrial Art. And for 10 years he was an art instructor at Western Reserve University, and he was appointed the assistant chief engraver in 1923, and he ended up taking over that position from Morgan in 1925. And he designed some pretty decent designs. There is the Franklin Half Dollar, and here's the Roosevelt dime, which he designed. So he did some very decent stuff. So I'll just kind of leave it for that, but it was John R. Sinnock that designed the coin. Alright, specifications of the Franklin half dollar. Very similar to the Barber and the Barber and the Walking Liberty half dollar. They were 12.5 grams. They were 90% silver, 10% copper, which is 0.36169 ounces of pure silver. Then they were 30.6 millimeters in diameter, and they have the reeded edge. So that's the specifications. They're all pretty much the same as the other half dollars in the series. Alright, mint mark locations and where they were minted. They were minted at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints, so it'll either have a no mint mark, a D, or an S. The location will be above the bell. You'll see on this it's very small, but you'll see that there is a D above the bell. So that's where they put them. They put them on the reverse above the bell. That's where you would see the D or S. Alright, mintages. All of them are fairly well minted. They all have at least a few million minted, from 3 million all the way up into the 20 millions. And they're all very affordable, especially in grades like this. They just go for melt. There is no rare date of these. So in low grades, you could build the entire set, put it in a folder for like almost nothing. In higher grades, it can get a little more expensive, but that's kind of what the mintages are. There's not really too many low mintages. I believe the lowest mintage of the entire series is the... I'll have to look really quick here, but I believe it's the 1955. The 1955 is it's not the lowest mintage, but it is the most expensive one, which is, it was just had about 2.5 million made. So that is the one that you want to get. It's not the lowest mintage. There is another one that's lower. The 1940, what is it? The 1949 is up there in price too, but those are the two that you really want to look for: the 49S and the 55, because they only made a Philadelphia 55. So we'll stay with that, but they're all common. Even those only go a few dollars over the melt price if they're in low grades, so you can still get them. They're pretty affordable. Alright, key dates. There's not really any real expensive coins here when it comes to key dates. The first few, like if you get the 48 P and D and the 49 P, D, and S, they go for a little bit higher than the rest of them do, like when they come to lower like melt grades. And the 55 is the most expensive, but again, it's still fairly easy to get. It starts out at just under 20 bucks. So there's not really any real rare stuff here, but I am going to talk about a few different variety type ways that you can consider to be in the key date section. And one of them is some of the proofs. If you get the early proofs, they can get expensive. And also there's supposed to be a 1961 double die proof out there, which goes for about $3 grand. So that's a big one. And the other thing that I will talk about is grading. If you can get them graded by a third-party grader, like this is PCGS or NGC is another one, and you can get a mint state 65 or higher grade, the prices will go up. Because like right here I have a guide that says that a 1948, for example, is $27 in MS63, but in MS65 it's $80, which is almost it's 3 times the amount. And the reason why is because they're really hard to get in high grades because they were just made to circulate. That was what they were made for. And the other distinction too is right here how it says FBL, which is full bell lines. Some people collect these because of that, and what it is down here on the bottom of the bell. I'm not going to be able to do it with this camera, but you'll see lines across the bottom of the bell, and if those lines are full and go completely all the way across, they consider it to be a full strike, and they will pay more money for those. And also this one happens to be a toned coin, which means it probably came from either a mint set or from like the end of a roll, and people sometimes pay more money for those. So those are ways that you can look for key dates to the Franklins, but in the sense of, is there a date that's just unbeatable to get? There isn't in the circulation set. Some of the earlier proofs can, though. They can get a little expensive. Like I can give you an example. An earlier date proof like the 1950 can go for $475. The 1951 can go for like $375. So they can go for big money, but those are the only real keys to the Franklin series. So I hope you silver stackers especially, and people that collect silver, pick these up whenever you get them. I like them. They're cool. But they're, again, it's just melt silver, so just, pick up a whole bunch of these things if you can, and they're really cool. Try to find them in a roll I know if you guys do that coin roll hunting thing, and just stick to it. Thanks for all the support in the series, and keep watching. There's a few more to go, and thanks for all the support.